Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in for our second playoff race here with the Outcast Racing League as these drivers are ready to rock and roll. They are ready to go to battle as qualifying is underway right now. They're rolling out there on the speedway looking to lay down some great quick lap times, looking to set themselves up for a wonderful evening here from Auto Club Speedway. As we'll get ready to rock and roll, we'll get ready to set these drivers loose in just a few more moments. Right now, the 0-0 of Colt Manich with the quick time here in qualifying. Puffenbarger there in second with Smith, Castellano, and Brantlinger, our top five here on the leaderboard for our qualifying session. As all these drivers get loaded into the sim, each and every one of them are looking for the win here this evening. CJ Jeffries, my boy CJ, coming in with that share on the broadcast. How are you, CJ? CJ coming in, showing the love. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do, whether you're re-watching the broadcast or you're watching it live with us right now. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Absolutely free to do and helps us out a ton here on Peacemaker Gaming. Make sure you also drop a couple comments. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up in victory lane as qualifying coming to a close, and we got 110 laps of racing action here in front of us for our second race of the Outcast Racing League playoffs, and that means this is a cutoff race, ladies and gentlemen. This is a cutoff race. 4 drivers will be eliminated from the playoffs here this evening. We'll take a look at the standings right now. As you take a good look, you take a gander at those point standings, you see that Chris Muse is our points leader still after Bristol Motor Speedway. So after Bristol, still holding on to that points lead, but CJ Jeffries with the win has already locked himself into the next round. Now the big thing to keep an eye on are the drivers that are below and just ahead of that red line, as that is the difference maker. That is the cut line. You want to be inside the top 12. If you're outside the top 12 after this evening, you will be eliminated from the playoffs. So right now, Kurt Sponsler 1 point out of the next round. Johnny Thunder is right there, a couple points shy. Wayne Garland and James Garland both on the outside looking in. It's gonna be a gonna have to be a big race today for James Garland after missing last week and giving up all of those points, and he's gonna have to work hard to try to get back into it and maybe try to work himself into the next round, maybe in a must-win situation here this evening. As you see all these drivers, they're so close in points. When you look through, you know, the top 10, top 11 or so, they're starting to open up a little bit more of a gap, but you know, Brantlinger only 1 point to the good. Casey Gross only 2 points up. You know, 4 points there to Al Reed in 10th, you know, and same with Castellano and Lancaster only right there. He's only, you know, 5 points ahead of our 13th place driver, Kurt Sponsler. So anything can happen here. One mistake, one bad pit stop, one penalty down pit road, or one big wreck could potentially take you out of the playoffs and put you into a non-playoff position here after this evening. As Joseph Barry coming in with the thumbs up on the broadcast, Joshua Neal coming in with that like as well, Schenko Custom Diecast coming in with that share on the stream, as Anna Marie Davis coming in showing the love, as Crystal McGarv Jeffrey says here supporting CJ Jeffries, cheering on CJ. CJ already locked into the next round of the playoffs, but he's going to be looking to try to see if he can earn some extra playoff points to help him through the next stage of our playoffs and see if he can work himself into the final 8 showdown in just a few more weeks. Sean's Detail coming in with the like and the share as well. How are you, Sean? Sean coming in showing the love here this evening as we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll. It's starting on the pole in the 0-0. It is the Schenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 0-0 ride. That is the all-seeing motorsports machine at Colton Manich. Brandon Puffenbarger there to his outside with Austin Smith, Adolfo Castillo, Lance Brantlinger, Al Reed, Cameron Combs, Wayne Garland, CJ Jeffries, and David Duran Jr. are top 10 here to start this evening. Killingbeck, Muse, Gross, Garland, Anthony Garland, James Garland, Chad Lancaster, Johnny Thunders, Kurt Sponsler, Dean Shasby, Joshua Neal, Gary Wright, our top 21 drivers getting ready to go green flag racing here from Auto Club Speedway as we are back in action here with the Outcast Racing League. Quickly, Colton Manich onto the lap pedal, looking to slide up in front of the 9 right, trying to clear Brandon Puffenbarger down into quarter number 1. But they're going to spread out 2, 3, 4 wide throughout the field as you take a look a little farther back. You see killing back right down on the bottom side is Casey Gross and the 81 of Anthony Garland work around him. Killing back actually sliding backwards here early in this race, as I'm not sure what's wrong with the 70 car, but he's way off the pace down the back straightaway. Goes from middle of the field there all the way to the back of the pack. So a tough break right there for that 70 machine. As Colton Manich at a quarter number 4 has a couple car length lead. He'll take us down across the line and lead lap number 1 here from Auto Club Speedway. As Puffenbarger there in tow, Austin Smith right there in 3rd. Adolfo Castillo there in 4th, and Al Reed slowly but surely in that ZZX Digital Elite Sim Racing number 3 machine working himself up through the field. And we got a webcam here. Mr. Al Reed on the evening. We'll take a quick look in at Al Reed as the number 3 machine rolling out on the speedway. We'll get a quick little look right here. There is Al Reed. You see that number 3 driver. He's got the VR on, so he's fully immersed in the action here. He knows that, he's getting a good run. He's running fast. He's running smooth out there on the racetrack, looking underneath the 31 ride to make that move to take the lead away. Now, what's interesting is you see the hands here of Al Reed. He's not running a circle steering wheel. He's got more of the F1 style steering wheel, which I'm not sure if that will help him or hurt him here, but we've seen that 3 ride win a lot of races in the Outcast Racing League, and clearly that wheel is working for him here this evening as he's been working himself up through the traffic and has got himself pointed in the right direction here, now into that 3rd spot on the speedway. Last time by the start finish line, he was the quickest car on the racetrack. That time he was a little bit slower than Colton Manich, but he had to pass a lot of cars there on the speedways. He just went around Brandon Puffenbarger, and he also went around the 31 of Adolfo Castillo, where Adolfo's actually been sliding backwards here. I'm not sure where he's actually down pit side here, so possible penalty pit stops from last week, as we do see Casey Gross down pit road, Adolfo Castillo down pit side, Anthony Garland, Chad Lancaster, Chris Muse all down pit road here, as Killingback off the racetrack now for Mike Killingback. I'm not sure what's happened to Mike Killingback here on the evening. We also see Corey Crowell back out onto the racetrack. So Corey Crowell did not start this race with the rest of the field, and that puts the 20 ride way back here at a huge disadvantage, as he is, I'm not sure if he's multiple laps down or not, but he is definitely at least a lap down, but he may be 2, 3 laps down here, which may be very, very tough to try to get back here, as we see Lancaster use all down laps here. Killingback is out. Crowell down 5 laps on the racetrack, so 5 laps is very, very tough to make back here at Auto Club Speedway. So it's going to set him up for a rough day here at the racetrack for one of our playoff drivers. Is out in front. That 00, Colton Manich continuing to lead the way. See some more of these drivers that had to make penalty pit stops there to start this race, as he sees the 81 of Anthony Garland right there in front of him. Adolfo Castillo in that Panasonic ride right there as well. So a couple of his tough competitors in the playoffs right there in front of him that he can try to put a lap down, as the 00 is not in the playoffs. So Colton Manich, unfortunately, not one of our playoff drivers here this year, but that 00 nonetheless is looking to try to play spoiler for any of these other drivers that are in must-win situations where they have to get a win. If he can jump up here and take it away, that's going to take an automatic playoff advancement away from one of the other drivers, where it's all going to come down to points for everybody except for possibly you know, obviously the number 19 is CJ Jeffries. As Jeffries out there in the 19 ride was able to pick up the win last week, and that put him right in position here to just have a good fun day at the racetrack and maybe try to earn some extra playoff points towards the next round. So getting some stage wins, maybe winning the race as well, could put some extra points into his back pocket for the start of the next round of our playoffs here next Sunday. So Gold Manage and CJ Jeffries looking to play some spoilers here, seeing some of the other drivers that are not in our playoffs here this season. As right now, Colt Manch leads the way, still looking down low, looking to clear the 81 of Anthony Garland and the 31 of Adolfo Castillo as they're both trying to stay on the lead lap. The 00 is going to slide up and just barely clear that 31 ride. And there you go. He puts Castillo and the 81 of Anthony Garland a lap down now, so makes Joshua Neal our last car on the lead lap, and our first car 1 lap down is that 31. So now we're going to see a big battle here between the 81 and the 31 as they're going to want to be in position for the lucky dog. They're going to want to be able to get that free pass and back onto the lead lap here, or try to run down this 00 and find a way to get back around him and race themselves back onto the lead lap. As Cole Manich out in front, he's got a pretty decent gap starting to brew now, almost over a second between himself and Al Reed. It's actually 1.3 seconds now between Manich and Al Reed on the speedway. Is Austin Smith back in position number 3 in the 23. He's got Brandon Puffenbarger looking to his outside as the 51 ride of David Duran Jr. right there in the thick of things. And then we see, I believe that is the 8 ride of Lance Brantlinger, the 84 of Wayne Garland, also in that fight. Where is... There's Wayne. Shows Wayne now into the 4th spot here as he's been making some moves down low. So Wayne Garland in the Iced Tea, the Captain Morgan's ride, having a good run here as well. He's one of those drivers that was on the outside of the cut line here, knowing that he needs to have a great day at the speedway, needs to earn some of these stage points, needs to have a good finish and maybe see if he can work himself into the next round of the playoffs. So a good start so far for Wayne Garland, now rolling in that 5th position as Brantlinger right there behind him, the 15 of Cameron Combs, as Austin Smith slides all the way back to position number 8 now on the racetrack. Dean Shasby there in 9th, and CJ Jeffries rounding out our top 10 is Kurt Sponsler, who's that first car on the outside of the playoffs looking in here. That 49 ride knows that he was 1 point shy of being in that playoff round here, so he needs to just get up, earn that extra point or two, and maybe put himself into the next round of the playoffs. Our round of 12 going to get started next week, so he'll be looking to keep on trucking forward as Gary Wright there in the 12th position. James Garland they're in position number 14 now as the 82 of Joshua Neal rolls to his inside, and Johnny Thunders back in position number 15 for the Elite Sim Racing Shenko Custom Diecast number 60 ride. As he is the last car on the lead lap, he's got a bit of a gap all the way back to our race leaders, but you do see Adolfo Castillo and the 81 of Anthony Garland, who are both a lap down behind our race leader, trying to battle strong here still, trying to figure out who's going to be in that free pass position and if they can try to find something to get around that 00 ride. As Manich leads the way, continuing to manage the gap between himself and Al Reed, as Reed starting to slide even farther back away from him here. Al Reed now under fire as you see that 51 of David Duran Jr. and the number 9 of Brandon Puffenbarger have reeled this 3 ride back in. So Al Reed sliding back just ever so slightly. These other cars starting to come to life later in this run. As 14 laps already in, we'll double check, see where the stage breaks are here for the evening. As yeah, the stage breaks, I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check and make sure we got the correct stage breaks here for Auto Club. We don't give it out. So 25 laps in 60 are our stages. So lap 25, we will see a caution flag to end stage number 1. Lap 50, we'll see the end of stage number 2. A 60 lap shootout to finish off the evening here at Auto Club Speedway. This is going to make things very, very interesting here. Some stage points on the line. Each and every one of these drivers looking to try to punch themselves into the next round of the playoffs. But Colton Manich leading the way, looking to take all of the playoff points away. Looking to play spoiler here for a lot of our drivers as he's out in front, continuing to lead them here at Auto Club Speedway. Duran Jr. now there in second as Brandon Puffenbarger there in third. Al Reed slides back now to that 4th position as Wayne Garland trying to reel him in. Lance Brantlinger back in 6th. Austin Smith there in 7th as Cameron Combs back in the 8th position. Dean Chaseby, CJ Jeffries, Kurt Sponsler, Gary Wright, Joshua Neal, James Garland, Johnny Thunders, our lead lap drivers. Anthony Garland now around Adolfo Castillo for that free pass position. Here is Anthony right there in front of the 31. 2 cars a lap down right behind our race leader. Chris Muse, our playoff leader and our points leader here throughout this playoffs from Bristol Motor Speedway, was our regular season champion. He is also a lap down now here as well. So the 99 ride, the Fastenal machine, down a lap, stuck back in the 18th position as Casey Gross down a lap there in the 77. Chad Lancaster down a couple laps as the Land NC and SB02 ride rolls in the 20th position. He's a couple laps down, and Corey Crowell multiple laps down here for the 20 machine out there in the 21st position. And Mike Killingbeck still off the racetrack. So a tough break there for Killingbeck as we also see James Garland head down pit side as well. So Garland down pit road. I believe this is going to put him a lap down as well. So fortunate break there as the Coast to Coast Racing League, the Pool Boy ride, heads down pit side and unfortunately now down a lap. So we'll have to wait and see if that's a little bit of a strategy move or what that may be there for the number 37 ride, as we do see the number 81 of Anthony Garland has put himself back onto the lead lap. He's driven around our race leader, so Colton Manich allowing the the 81 to get back around him, put himself back into contention here on the lead lap, looking for that caution flag or the caution for the stage break here. Adolfo Castillo, he's going to be looking forward as well, as right now he is in that free pass position, but he may look to see if he can race himself back onto the lead lap with making that move around the 00 here before the end of our first stage of the day. He's got about 6 laps left to get it done here as he's working to the outside of Colton Manich. Manich, though, still stretching out that lead. This 00 ride absolutely hooked up and on fire here on the evening. 3.5 seconds the difference between himself and David Duran Jr. as Duran back there in position number 2 trying to make up that gap, but that gap continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now over 4 seconds between Colton Manich and David Duran Jr. Absolutely insane pace that our race leader is laying down as Duran there in second, Brandon Puffenbarger in third, Wayne Garland, Lance Brantlinger, our top 5 on the speedways. You can throw a blanket over a lot of these guys right here inside the top 5 as they're reeling each other in. They're mounting another challenge. You do see the 00 or the 02 ride. That is unfortunate break for Chad Lancaster as he finds himself down a couple laps, but he's looking to try to make some moves, see if he can work himself around some of these guys and maybe try to get himself into a free pass position or something out there on the speedway, but having some fun nonetheless, battling hard here with our drivers just inside and outside our top 5. He battles there with those guys. Colton Manich continuing to open up that lead more and more and more, out to 6 seconds now between Manich and Lance Brantlinger, as Brantlinger able to jump into position number 2, but that gap is now 6 seconds for Colton Manich. And you look at these guys, man, what a battle back here between our second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place driver out there on the racetrack. As now you see Austin Smith right back into this fight as he rolls to the inside of the 8 ride. Brantlanger trying to hang on to it. There is almost a little contact between Smith and Brantlanger into quarter number 1. Here comes that 99 ride as well. That's Chris Muse right into this fight. Muse unfortunately is a lap down here himself, but he is right there in the thick of things. He's hoping to see that number 81 and 31 both work themselves back around this 0-0 of Colton Manich. As Manich, our race leader, has that 81 and the 31 pinched a lap down here, where one of them will receive that lucky dog, the free pass here at the stage break, but they're both just trying to figure out a way to get up and around him, as the 31 does get a little piece of the outside fence, and as they stay a lap down here to that 0-0, but looks like a big run down the back straightaway. Both drivers looking to put themselves onto the lead lap, which will allow Chris Muse to be put into that free pass position, and that's exactly what he's hoping for. He's hoping to get that free pass and back onto the lead lap here at the stage break as Dean Shasby heads down pit side. So Shasby down pit road. You'll see James Garland down pit side again as well. So a bunch of misfortunate breaks here for the Coast to Coast Outcast Racing League pool boy ride, as 37 at James Garland for the second time down pit road. You'll see Gary Wright now heading down pit side as well before the pit road closes here, as end of the stage 2 laps beforehand. Pit road will close, is out in front by 7 seconds now. Colton Manich looking to pick up stage win number 1, but he's going to play his cards close to his chest. He heads down pit side here before pit road closes, and he heads down pit road. We'll see if any other drivers decide to come down as well. Looks like David Duran Jr. also heading down pit side here. So Colton Manich, David Duran Jr. both down pit side. Gary Wright down there as well. So some drivers playing some different strategy maneuvers here on the speedway. But it's Austin Smith who now leads the way here in stage number 1. So Smith out in front, showing him how to get it done here in this one. Lance Brantlanger there in second. Wayne Garland there in third. Cameron Combs trying to work himself around the 84, looking for that extra playoff point here. And on the evening, CJ Jeffries there in position number 5. Puffenbarger, Joshua Neal back here in the 6th and 7th spot, as Puffenbarger slow on the racetrack here, but the caution flag has been displayed. So the caution flag has came out. It's not for the 9 ride, but I don't know if the 9 ride, he come down pit side. I don't think he did. I just think this 9 ride is either trying to save fuel, or he may have ran out of fuel here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure what may have happened here. You Brandon Puffenbarger. We'll see if he's still coasting. He's still coasting. Looks like he's trying to get to his pit stall. So the 9 ride may have ran out of gasoline here on the evening. That's very, very interesting and possibly very treacherous for the rest of the field to know, as we get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments, as great racing early on here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure you hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. As pit stops underway, our race leaders heading down pit side. We'll take a look and see if they can hold position, or if anyone makes any mistakes down pit road, and how much that may cost them if they're on the racetrack. Alrighty, so pit stops underway here. We did see Colton Manich was able to stay on the lead lap before the caution flag, so he will roll back around and back to the front of the field here after pinning right there at the end of the stage, as Austin Smith will be the first car off pit lane. Cameron Combs, CJ Jeffries, Brantlanger, Joshua Neal, Kurt Sponsler all rolling out here, as Sponsler, I do believe, getting the wave around here and back onto the lead lap, as caution flag pit stops the end of stage number 1. And right now, Colton Manich is that car to possibly beat here on the evening. He has been looking very, very good, very fast here all evening long. Let's see if we can pull. This 00 ride up into the broadcast booth here real quick. Hey Colton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Oh man, a very good first stage here on the day as that 00 ride was hooked up and pulling away from the rest of the field before you came down pit side, playing that little bit of strategy, the long game here on the evening. Coming in before the stages, you're not in it for the stage points, you're just here to win checkered flags, and right now you're the car to beat as a 7-second lead between yourself and second place before that green flag pit stop, man. Take us back through it, and how do you feel out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, man, car feels good. I'm on old tires here, so I'm not totally sure how it's gonna go when we go green, because I know a lot of those guys were saving, and I was just kind of pushing because I knew what my strategy was gonna be was to pit late and then leapfrog everybody, and then hope to make it here to the end on this stage with what I got. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely going to be a lot of fun to watch and see how you're able to keep that car towards the front of the field, or if you can hang on to it here with the older tires compared to some of those new tires out there on the racetrack. But hopefully we'll get you back up here before the end of the evening, maybe up here in victory lane before the end of the day. Good luck and have some fun out there.
Yep. Thanks, man. I hope so. We'll see what happens.
Alrighty, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A quick look there as Colton Manich ready to rock and roll. He is our control car here for the restart, but you can hear it there right from our driver of the 00 as he doesn't have those fresh tires. He came down pit side, he got some fuel before the end of the stage, where these other drivers now have possibly some fresh tires, some fresh equipment, some fuel as well. So it could be a drag race back to the 50-lap marker to end stage number 2 here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and if that 00 can hang on and stay out in front, or at least maybe stay in contention to where it doesn't hurt him too much here in this run. Is Austin Smith staying door-to-door with him here on the restart. Smith and Manich right there, 1 and 2 on the speedway. Cameron Gomes back there in position number 3. Here comes CJ Jeffries into the frame, as well as the 81 of Anthony Garland. We saw Garland running right there with our race leader Colton Manich for a lot of laps there throughout that first stage, as Colton Manich and the 31 of Adolfo Castillo were just trying to keep themselves on the lead lap and out of trouble, and hoping to just stay in front of that number 81 ride or 00 ride to put themselves into that onto the lead lap or into the free pass position. So they were battling hard there at the front of the field, even though the only driver that was in that 3-car fight at the front of the field was our current race leader, the 00 Colton Manich. Manich doing a great job to hang on to the race lead right now. He's not pulling away or opening up the gap like we saw before his green flag pit stop there in the end of stage number 1, as this 00 still showing some good speed here. I'm not sure who's got fresh tires behind him, if they all do or not, but all I know is that he has got this car absolutely hooked up, and it's still laying down some great lap times, even possibly with older tires than the drivers that are around him, as Smith right there on his back bumper. CJ Jeffries now up into 3rd. Cameron Gomes back there in position number 4. Brantlinger there in 5th with Anthony Garland there in 6th. Adolfo Castillo down to his inside, taking a peek down low as Johnny Thunders there in the 8th position. Chris Muse back there in position number 9 in the 99 as our points leader here coming into this evening, was able to use that free pass and able to get the lucky dog back onto the lead lap for the 99 ride. So a good break there for Mr. Muse, as Wayne Garland back in the 10th position, as David Duran Jr. right there on his back bumper. Al Reed back in position number 12 as Dean Shasby there in 13th. Brandon Puffenbarger right in the thick of things here, as he's got the 37 and the 16 right there on his back bumper, as Puffenbarger back in the 14th spot. Gary Wright, Joshua Neal, our top 16 on the speedway. Kurt Sponsler there in 17th. James Garland, couple laps down here for that 37 ride, seen with Casey Gross. Chad Lancaster, unfortunately, down pit side here as the Syndicate Motorsports Land and CNSB number 02 ride down pit side here. I'm not sure why the extended pit stop under green flag racing for Chad Lancaster, but this is really going to hurt him as already Mike Killingbeck off the racetrack. Chad Lancaster down pit road as we saw Corey Crowell miss the start of this race in the 20 ride. Multiple laps down as well, and not the way he wanted things to get started on the evening. We're getting ready to take a look back at our race leader as CJ Jeffries able to make the move and get around Colton Manich there through 3 and 4. So CJ Jeffries once again back to the front of the field. We saw these two battling here with each other at Bristol Motor Speedway last week. They were running 1 and 2 when Chris Muse came out of nowhere, was able to put the moves on him, make the late race pass to get in front of not only Colton Manich but also CJ Jeffries, and then a little bit of contact between the 19 and the 99. A lot of good hard racing between Jeffries and Muse. It was Jeffries that was able to jump out in front with only a couple laps left to go and put himself into victory lane there at Bristol Motor Speedway last Sunday. In doing so, has also put himself into the round of 12 here in our playoffs. So this is a race where he doesn't have to sweat about being wrecked or having issues or having a short day at the racetrack, as he's already locked in to the next round. Now he's just trying to get some extra playoff points, trying to help him out here in the future rounds to maybe see if he can put himself as our champion here in 2024. It's Colton Manich going to take that race lead back away. Now has Cameron Combs right there behind him. Is Austin Smith right there as well. That's Dean Shasby, unfortunately, going a lap down as the Sim Racing Dad machine falls back here just ever so slightly. And fortunately now off the pace and down a lap for that 52 machine, as he's trying to stay right there with our race leaders, as fortunately not working out too well here for him. As we do see, I believe that was the 02 ride. That is the 02 ride at Chad Lancaster rolling back out onto the racetrack. So good to see Lancaster sticking with it, rolling back out here. Unfortunately, quite a few laps down now for Chad Lancaster. So he's going to have to see either an abundance of caution flags, other drivers running into issues, or something to maybe try to earn himself some extra points here on the evening. As Manich continue to manage this race lead. You see the 52 ride getting back around him, so Dean Shasby racing himself back onto the lead lap. The Sim Racing Dad 52 ride looking good, looking strong as he rolls right there in front of our race leaders. Manich now has the 23 of Austin Smith taking a peek down to his inside. Here comes Brantlinger. Jeffries, Combs right there as well. David Duran Jr. back up into 6th with Wayne Garland there in 7th. Castillo back in 8th. Chris Muse and Johnny Thunders are top 10 here on the racetrack. As we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. He is out in front here. It is still it's actually now the 51 ride. So the 51 machine of David Duran Jr. now leads the way here from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway. So David Duran Jr. looking to try to win stage number 2. There's only a few more laps left to go here before our second stage of the day comes to a close. Brantlinger right there in second with Wayne Garland in position number 3. He's got Austin Smith there behind him. Golden Manch hanging on for a top 5 here in the second stage, even with some older equipment on that 00 machine. Right there behind him, you see CJ Jeffries, last week's winner, in that number 19 ride in position number 6. Cameron Gomes right there with him in that 7th spot. Johnny Thunders up into position number 8 on the speedways. Now Reed rolls there in 9th. He's got Adolfo Castillo there just to his outside. As you also see the lap down car of the 20 machine of Corey Crowell in the 02. That is Chad Lancaster, also a lap down, multiple laps down as well here as Brandon Buffenbarger back in the 11th position. Chris Muse there in 12th. Joshua Neal back in 13th with Anthony Garland, Kurt Sponsler, and Dean Shasby. If they're on the speedway right now, Shasby is the first driver 1 lap down on the racetrack here for that 52 ride. He's just trying to hang on and hope for this caution flag to come out quickly to end this stage and put himself back into the lead lap here, as he will get that lucky dog and be able to roll back into the contention with the lead lap drivers here. So waiting for that stage to come to a close and looking for that free pass for the number 52 machine. As 49 laps out of our 50 for stage number 2 here underway, so only a couple more laps left to go. This next time by, we will see lap number 50 up onto the board, as drivers are doing a great job, some great racing. I do believe no caution flags for incidents on the speedway, so it's been a pretty good, clean race. A lot of just good, hard racing out there on the racetrack, and it's put on a heck of a show for us for playoff race number 2 as David Duran Jr. here with the final lap of stage number 2, looking to pick up the stage win here on the evening, as Brantlinger right there with them, trying to earn all those extra playoff points here, trying to keep himself in contention here to move forward in the round of 12 and not be one of the 4 drivers who will be eliminated from the playoffs here this evening. Wayne Garland trying to save grace as well, trying to get as many points as possible. As stage number 2 is going to come to a close here. There's the yellow flag. Stage number 2 going to go to David Duran Jr. as he picks up that stage win, parks his 51 ride in the top spot here for stage number 2. Sees that green and white checkered flag along with the yellow flag fly, and that will earn him an extra playoff point and some extra points towards moving forward into the round of 12 here after this evening. Brantlinger there in second, Wayne Garland in third, Austin Smith, Colton Manage, our top 5 on the speedway at stage number 2 break with Cameron Combs, CJ Jeffries, Johnny Thunders, Adolfo Castillo, and Al Reed rounding out our top 10 here. Stage number 2 as we'll get ready for these drivers to head down pit side. Some caution flag pit stops about to get underway, and this is where things could get very interesting. Now drivers have the opportunity to maybe use a couple set of tires between right now and the end of this race. If they use them there at the end of stage number 1, they may be lacking that extra little bit of grip late in this race. Oh, hang on to it, Wayne Garland. What is going on here, Wayne? Wayne was having such a good run, running in third right there, and then I think he's just trying to avoid the 49 as they're all trying to catch up to our race leaders here. Comes with a whole head of steam. Has to dive out of the way of the 49 rider. Kurt Sponsler, unfortunately, loses the handle of that car down the back straightaway here. Under caution, just narrowly avoids Gary Wright, but hard contact there into the outside fence here under the yellow for Wayne Garland, and that's going to create quite a bit of damage for him that he's going to have to repair, and hopefully not use a complete quick repair As that may hurt him here in the long run on the evening, as getting pushed right now from the 77 ride. The 77 pushing him right down pit road here. Oh gosh, almost sending him off the racetrack as 84 having a tough time trying to get turned down on the pit lane. Luckily enough, he does get that car turned in. He's going to try to head into his pit stall here, but slow. Here you go. Here comes James Garland. Nope, he's going to tow. It looks like he tows. That is a heartbreaker right there for Wayne Garland as he tows that car back down pit side. He's had himself set up for a good run and maybe a great finish here on the evening, but that mistake down the back straightaway may take him out of contention to pick up the win here on the evening, as we do see David Duran Jr., the first car out of pit lane. Anthony Garland, Lance Brandlinger, Austin Smith, Colton Manich, Cameron Combs, CJ Jeffries, Al Reed, Brandon Puffenbarger, Adolfo Castillo, our top 10 rolling out of the pit boxes as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, our final stage here of the evening, about to get underway for these NASCAR Cup cars at Auto Club Speedway's playoff race number 2, a cutoff race here for the Outcast Racing League, about to get underway in just a few more moments. We'll get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Land & Sea and SB. Alrighty, as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, the lights are still off the official iRacing pace car, so it looks like we're going to get one more time around here on the racetrack under the yellow flag conditions. As out in front, David Duran Jr. choosing the outside lane here for the restart, so he is the control car. He is our race leader. We're going to start there on the outside of the front row with Lance Brantlinger down to his inside. Our third place driver, Austin Smith, there in the inside of row number 2. He has Colton Manich there to the outside of him. And then we see Cameron Combs back in 5th. CJ Jeffries there in 6th. Al Reed in 7th with Chris Muse there in 8th. And we see the number 31 of Adolfo Castillo, the 99 of Chris Muse. Johnny Thunders, Anthony Garland, Dean Shaseby, Joshua Neal, Brandon Puffenbarger, Kurt Sponsler, Gary Wright, Wayne Garland, Casey Gross, James Garland, Chad Lancaster, Corey Crowell. You see these drivers ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here once again, as David Duran Jr. ready to set them loose, ready to go to battle as playoff race number 2 slowly but surely coming to a close. And Just like Joey Logano and Jimmy Johnson, who just wrecked each other there at Indianapolis Speedway, we may not be done seeing caution flags. We may still see more caution flags here on the evening. But from this point on, the only caution flags we'll see are for incidences out there on the racetrack and drivers getting together, not stage breaks, as that's all we've seen so far is stage breaks here. And so far, it's been nothing but very, very good racing here with the Outcast Racing League. Is down through the Geico restart zone. We are back to green flag racing as David Durant Jr. quickly on the loud pedal, able to open up a little bit of a lead down into corner number 1, but the caution flag comes right back out as quickly as we were going back to green flag racing. The yellow flag does come back in here for, looks to be Dean Shasby running into some issues here, so a quick caution flag and our first caution for incident on the racetrack as things were getting a little bit log jammed deeper in the field. Shasby was trying to roll up and build some momentum, and as everyone kind of just upped out of the way, unfortunately, just drivers not getting fired off right there. And man, that's a tough break for Shasby, a tough break for a lot of these competitors as they were just trying to figure out what they were doing here on the restart. You see the 81's going to drive to the high side. The 60 ride drives down low as they were trying to build up momentum and get a run here down the straightaway on this restart. And unfortunately, it did not time out right for them. And the 52 has to get checked up and just gets into the back end of the 0-2. Hard contact there for him. Little contact for Joshua Neal as well, but tough break right there for the Sim Racing Dad 52 ride of Dean Shasby, as that will be our first caution flag for incident here on the evening. So we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in a quick hurry here as they'll get all back together, regroup them, restack them up, and re-rack them here for another restart here on the evening as we'll get a look here at our sponsorship here with the Outcast Racing League. Alrighty, as we look to go back to green flag racing, lap number 60 of 110 will go up on top of the board as some more pit stops. Mixing up this field a little bit more as Brantlinger leads the way. That's Chris Muse. They are in position number 2. Cole Manich, Adolfo Castillo, Austin Smith, CJ Jeffries, Cameron Combs, Brandon Puffenbarger, Johnny Thunders, Al Reed, our top 10 here on the restart as the 8 machine down through the Geico restart. So we are back to green flag racing here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, but more contact here on the restart. No caution flag as of yet. There it is. Yellow flag now onto the track here. Heavy damage for a lot of these competitors. We see Kurt Sponsler going down through the grass here in that NOS Energy number 49 ride. We saw a little bit of damage for the 51. We'll take a look back and see what happened as Anthony Garland also tied up in this one as another restart going astray here as looks like maybe starts with the 0-2 with Chad Lancaster. Looks like he might get into the back end here. Oh, it looks like Dean Shasby maybe misses a shift. Stacks up Garland, stacks up Lancaster, which sends him up the racetrack hard into Gary Wright, and then 0-2 bounces down the racetrack as everyone trying to get checked up. Nowhere to go for David Duran Jr. as he gets sandwiched right there between the 49 and the 0-2, and that's going to send him back up into Lancaster here. That's going to put Lancaster up into the outside fence here. Heavy damage there for the 0-2 ride. Already having a rough day at the racetrack, but things just got a little bit tougher there for him as couple big hits, couple heavy hits right there during this caution flag. Let's see if we can play this back, and let's see if we can jump on board. Let's jump on board right here with the 52 ride of Dean Shasby, already dealing with some damage from the last caution flag. I think that may have made too much damage for this 52 ride, but I think he misses a shift. As he does, he loses a ton of speed, a ton of momentum, and all the carts behind him start to stack up, and that's what causes this caution flag. Right there. You see that right there? We'll take a look at it. There you go. So before he's going through the throttle, he's building up speed, then all of a sudden, bam, right down to the first gear. So he's going from second gear, looking to upshift here in the third gear. Unfortunately, ends up downshifting into the first gear. RPMs go up and through the roof there, and as he does that, he just loses all of the momentum out of that ride, and that creates just some chaos back here behind him as James Garland trying to get checked up, the 0-2, the 49, everyone rolling into this with some big speed built up here for the restart, once again creating a lot of contact, a lot of carnage here for a lot of these drivers. Sponsler down through the grass there. We see the 0-2 and the 51 make hard contact, as well as heavy damage for that 16 of Gary Wright, and a lot of body panels, a lot of body parts sliding around the racetrack there. Front bumpers, back bumpers bouncing around the speedway here. As that will bring us right back to the caution flag. Cautions breeding cautions here on stage number 3 as Lance Brantlinger leads the way. He's got the 8 ride out in front of the field, and this is where things could get interesting if drivers can start to head down pit side here. You may see more cars come down pit road, maybe just get fuel only. Maybe see if they can stretch this fuel out to where they can make it to the end without having to come down pit side again. But still with 50 laps, 48 laps left to go. It's going to be, that'd be quite a stretch here, I think, for these drivers to be able to run this one without making another pit stop. As Anne-Marie Davis says, you're number 1 in my heart, pool boy. Coming in, showing the big love there for Mr. Garland, as Anne-Marie showing the big love in the chat for the number 37 machine. As we'll get ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. The lights quickly off the official iRacing pace car, as these drivers definitely want to go back to green flag racing. You're in this one. Unfortunately, back-to-back restarts with incidences, just like real life NASCAR. We've had back-to-back caution flags, back-to-back contact, and unfortunately stacking things up and creating some chaos here at Indianapolis Speedway. We see our own chaos here at Auto Club Speedway, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll and ready to go back to battle here as in front, Lance Brantlinger leads the way. Brantlinger out in front of the field as we're going to jump right on board here with Al Reed for this restart. Let you guys see the sights and sounds and going through the gears here at Auto Club Speedway, and we'll be jumping right in with Al Reed from his in-home camera. Alrighty, as Colton Manich leads the way, the 00 out in front of the field, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. He's looking to go around David Duran Jr. and Josh Winneal. He's going to do that down the front straightaway here as they roll back down pit lane into the exit. Colton Manich under full song and bird. He is going to go around him and back to the front of the field. Brantlinger there in second. He's about 1.2 seconds back of our race leaders. Adolfo Castillo there in third. Cameron Gomes there in fourth. David Duran Jr. going to come out in that fifth position, but Josh Winneal right there with him. Here comes C.J. Jeffries, Al Reed into that fight. Here comes the 81 of Anthony Garland and Brandon Puffenbarger, who round out our top 10. Chris Means back there in 11. Kurt Sponsler there in 12th. Wayne Garland in 13th, as I do believe Wayne is the first driver one lap down on the speedway. He would love to see a caution flag and work himself back onto the lead lap with the lucky dog and try to get back in contention here to earn some more points here to maybe try to put himself into the next round of the playoffs. But as Colton Manich leaves the way, we'll jump into a quick Peacemaker game and crank it up here as next time by the start-finish line, we'll see 21 more laps of racing action here at Auto Club Speedway. Caution flag on the speedway here during our crank it up as yellow flag coming out. We saw some good racing right there at the front of the field as the 31 of Adolfo Castillo was able to put himself at the front of the pack there. He was able to catch and make the move around the 00 of Colton Manich. So that moves the 31 of Adolfo Castillo to our race lead late in this race as Colton Manich back there in second. Brantlinger in third with Cameron Gomes and David Duran Jr. Our top 5 on the racetrack. We'll take a look and see what brings out our caution flag here for the 5th time on the evening. I do believe it's right there behind the 51 ride, the 19 machine of C.J. Jeffries just loses the, oh man, heavy hit right there. Upside down goes C.J. Jeffries. That was a massive hit there for the 19. I'm not sure if he gets a little contact from the 81 to get him a little bent out of shape right here. Doesn't look like any contact. Unfortunately, the 19 ride loses the rear end here. And as he does, he's trying to correct it. The car just snaps up to the outside fence, makes heavy contact with that wall up into the side of the 84 and right on top of the 9 ride of Puffenbarger before going upside down and skidding down this front straightaway. Definitely a scary sight right there as CJ Jeffries goes flying through the air and skidded down the racetrack here. As we'll jump right on board. We'll play this back and take a look here. On board with CJ Jeffries, and what he had to deal with through quarter number 4, that car just absolutely went to the wild side, and he went for a wild ride. Definitely a sight you never want to see as a driver out there on the racetrack. Luckily enough, that car lands all the way back onto all 4 there, not staying upside down, but that was a massive hit and a massive heartbreaker right there for that number 19 ride. As we'll see if we can get a look on board here with Brandon Puffenbarger as he drives into this. He's going to smack right hard into that 19 right up in the air here. As he's going to see him shoot across the racetrack and then up into the sky. He's going to go right underneath of him as the 19 ride basically lands on his hood, and that was a bit of a wild one right there for not only the 19 but also for Wayne Garland and Brandon Puffenbarger. Let's see if we can get another look at this and where this car just lands right on top of him here. Let's see if we can play this a little bit slower and get a great look at it right here as it goes up into the air off of the top side of the 84, then right off the top of that 9 ride. Is wowzers. That was a scary sight for Wayne Garland and Brandon Puffenbarger, and we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing after a heavy hit there and a heartbreaker for CJ Jeffries. Luckily enough, he's still rolling out on the speedway. He is a lap down now in that 19 ride, maybe even 2 laps down, but luckily enough, he has that win from last week that he already has in his back pocket. So he got a win last week in Bristol, and that automatically punched his ticket into the next round. So he's already in the round of 12. So even with a bad performance here this evening, it's not going to hurt him as he will already move into the next round of our playoffs. He will not be one of the 4 drivers to be eliminated. So we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. We'll get ready to settle things out here as drivers line back up, ready to go. Out in front, it is the number 15 right now. Cameron Gomes, David Duran Jr. there in second. Al Reed, Chris Muse, our top 4. Lance Brantlinger back in 5th as we did see Adolfo Castillo, Colton Manich come down pit side there. More pit strategy, some more plays out of these drivers as we are back to Green Flag Racing down through the Geico restart zone with only 15 more laps left to go here from Auto Club Speedway. Only 15 more laps of racing action here as the 15 quickly looks like he's shot out of a cannon, looking to open up a big lead down the back straightaway as Al Reed, his teammate, the Elite Sim Racing number 3 machine, looking to try to jump up here towards the front of the field as well and roll that inside lane. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the run he was hoping for down that back straightaway, but he's looking to work underneath of Chris Muse and the 8 rider Lance Brantlinger, Colton Manich right there as well, but it's Cameron Gomes at the front of the field who's got David Duran Jr. and now the 31 of Adolfo Castillo. They're in position number 3. Seems like the 00 ride takes a couple laps to get going here. Not super strong on the restart, unfortunately for the 00 Colton Manich, who has led a lot of laps in this race, stuck back in about the 7th spot here. May need a few good green flag laps to really have that Williamsburg contracting Chenko custom diecast ride come to life here and try to battle at the front of the field. Same with Chris Muse, did not get a good restart here, and he's quickly slid back to position number 6 on the speedway. Our driver that's leading the points right now coming into the evening, still having himself a good run, a solid performance just inside the top 10, just outside the top 5 here. So he's looking to continue on and continue to work himself maybe into the winner's circle on the evening as well. As he looks to make a big move around the Budweiser number 8 rider Lance Brantlinger in the 3 ride of Al Reed, as the 99 trying to work the middle to outside lane here around those drivers. He has Adolfo Castillo right there in front of him as well, that he's trying to use a little drafting help, a little drafting partner there on the speedway. And then we see Cameron Combs out in front though. Had that lead, but that lead has evaporated as the 51 rider David Duran Jr. taking a look down to his inside here. They go door to door down the back straightaway. Cameron Combs, David Duran Jr. duking it out here for the race lead late here from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, as this one's getting closer and closer to the checkered flag. Who's going to be able to put themselves into the winner's circle? Who may punch their ticket into the next round of the Outcast Racing League's playoffs here in season number 7, as Duran Jr. looking to still take this race lead away from Cameron Combs. Combs is not going to let him run away with, though. He's going to continue to battle to his outside as they still go door to door down the back straightaway. A little bit of contact there through quarter number 2 as they battle door to door. Here comes the rest of our top 5 and our top 10 as they're reeling them in here. Adolfo Castillo, Chris Muse right there in 3rd and 4th. Colton Manage there in 5th. Al Reed in 6th. Brandon Puffenbarger there in the 7th spot with Lance Brantlinger. Gary Wright and Joshua Neal are top 10 here on the Speedway. As Kurt Sponsler back in 11th. Anthony Garland there in 12th. TJ Jeffries in the 13th spot. He is the first car 1 lap down, as Wayne Garland also a lap down in the 84 ride. Casey Gross back down pit side. A heartbreaker here for Casey Gross, says he came into the evening only a couple points to the good here to advance into the next round of the playoffs. And unfortunately, where he's running right now, he may be at risk of getting knocked out of this first round of the playoffs here on the evening. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the pit standings here, or the point standings at the end of the evening. Cameron Combs, though, still battling here with that 51 of David Duran Jr. Duran looking to clear him out at quarter number 2. He's going to make that move, but the 15 ride isn't done with him yet. He's looking to stay right on his back bumper, maybe put some pressure on him. Down here into quarter number 3, he does. He gets him off the racetrack. David Duran up the track. They're going to go 3, almost 4 wide here for the race lead. They settle things out, though, out at quarter number 4 as the 51 still gets a great run there. Out at quarter number 4, Cameron Combs works to his inside here, trying to get back to the race lead right late in this one, as Adolfo Castillo right there as well, the 31 ride. Rolling to the inside of both of our race leaders. Things getting a little bit tight. He has to roll out of the throttle. Here comes Brandon Puffenbarger. Brandon Puffenbarger with a big run now up into 3rd here, and he may not be done yet as he's already taken a look down low, trying to go 3 wide in the quarter number 3 for the race lead. So Brandon Puffenbarger may have been playing his cards right here late in the race as he jumps up and takes this race lead away, but here comes Cole Manage. Manage right there as well. He's now up into that 3rd spot as he battles door to door with that 15 to Cameron Combs, but Puffenbarger to the front of the field here with only 7 more laps of racing action left to go. So 7 more laps for these drivers to figure things out and to figure out who is going to put themselves into victory lane. Is it going to be Brandon Puffenbarger? Will we see David Duran Jr. or Cameron Combs fall outside of the top 3? Do we see a driver like Adolfo Castillo, Colton Manage, Chris Muse, Lance Brantlinger, or Al Reed jump up and take this win away from any of those drivers in front of them? It's going to get very, very interesting as this one gets closer and closer to that checkered flag. Puffenbarger, though, taking a bit of a lead here as he's opened up about a 0.3 of a second gap between himself and the 51 of David Duran Jr., but a good run down the back straightaway there. Some pushing help to the outside of the 00 of Colton Manage. I think that's what's really hurting Colton Manage right now, is that he's not getting any help down low, and if he can come off the corner and maybe get a little drafting help, maybe a little bit of pushing to his back bumper. It may help propel him a little bit farther forward, where you might be able to make that move to get around not only the 51, but maybe also get up and around that number 9 ride of Puffenbarger here on the Speedway. It'll be interesting to see what you guys can do here late in this race as the laps continuously keep clicking down, and you can see him shuffling down the back straightaway. Each and every one of them looking to try to gain as many points in many positions as possible, knowing that they need those points to advance into the next round of the playoffs. It's going to get very intense here in the closing lap. Alrighty, as you see that battle for the race lead, Colton managed Brandon Puffenbarger 1 and 2 door to door down across the line. Give the advantage to the 9 ride as the Napa Auto Parts machine leads the way here once again with only 3 more laps left to go. Look at the dogfight back there behind him as a little bit of a slide jump, the crossover at the 00. Managed gets a great run out of quarter number 2. He's hoping to get some pushing and shoving back here towards his back bumper as they weeble wobble down the back straightaway. Manage leads us down into quarter number 3. So Manage and Brandon Puffenbarger right here door to door out of quarter number 4 as David Durant Jr. Adolfo Castillo. Here comes Al Reed up inside the top 5. Chris Muse there in the 6 as he rolls around the outside of Lance Brantlayer and Cameron Combs in 7th and 8th on the Speedway as Puffenbarger leads the way out of quarter number 2 down the back straightaway. Only a lap and a half left here, and what these drivers are hoping to see is that white flag, as if they see that white flag fly, that means that we will have the race will be complete, whether the caution flag is thrown or the checkered flag. The white flag means that the next flag will end this race as door to door down across the line. It is a dogfight here right down to the very end as the white flag has been displayed here at Auto Club Speedway. Playoff race number 2 for the Outcast Racing League has been a great run in a great race all evening long, but it comes down to this very final lap for Brandon Puffenbarger to maybe win this race and advance himself in the playoffs, or Colton managed to jump up and steal this win away from him. Here comes Castillo, here comes our points leader, the 99er Chris Muse as well. It's out of quarter number 4, a big run for the 9 ride through the middle, and it's gonna be Brandon Puffenbarger who picks up the win here at Auto Club Speedway. Brandon Puffenbarger gets it done, and he will win playoff race number 2 in the Outcast Racing League as Colton Manage there in 2nd. Adolfo Castillo gonna come home in 3rd with David Durant Jr. Chris Muse, our top 5 on the Speedway. Al Reed back in 6th. Cameron Combs in 7th. Lance Brantlayer there in 8th. Gary Wright and Joshua Neal rounding out our top 10 here on the evening, but it's all Brandon Puffenbarger as the Napa Auto Parts number 9 ride will get ready to burn it down here on the front straightaway. The 82 gonna come up and give him a little congratulations bump to the rear bumper there and let him know that he's proud of the 9 ride. His teammates working together out there on the Speedway, not the run that the 82 was hoping for, but definitely proud to see the 9 ride up here in victory lane. As Puffenbarger burns down to house here, he is going to do a bit of a burnout there on the front straightaway. Looks like he's going to call it quits after a couple little spins, and that's it. So a quick celebration for the 9 ride as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews, as Brandon Puffenbarger going to be waiting patiently down pit side here. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth here for our post-race interview as Man, what a crazy run. What a great race here as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the booth here in this one. Man, what a run. What a race for Puffenbarger. That was wild. What a wild finish, man. Colton Manch right there. We see all these other drivers, work themselves up to the front of the field and fall back and work themselves back up and fall back and work themselves back up again. As you see Colton Manch there at second, Castillo there in third. The end of stage number 1, he was just trying to hang on and keep himself from going a lap down for so many laps with him and the 00 Colton Manich were battling. Manich was our race leader. Castillo was trying to stay on the lead lap before stage 1 came to a close, and here he is up inside the top 3 to finish off the evening. It's absolutely insane, absolutely ludicrous as we get ready to pull in our race winner, Brandon Puffenbarger. Hey Brandon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy? Hey, Brandon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one, and how does it feel to be up here in victory lane?
It's pretty good. I mean, racing with these guys all season, so starting out a little slow, but starting to learn how to race with these guys and be up front. But yeah, I saw the 2 in front of me. They were side by side, and I had a big run out of 2, and I just had to take it going into 3 and just hope it stuck, which it did. Then I just had to kind of block the air in the lanes from there on out.
Absolutely, a lot of trying to block the lanes, trying to block the runs coming from all of those tough competitors back there behind you, where you're getting a little bit nervous there late in the race when you see, such a swarm of drivers all around you there. We could throw a blanket over our top 8 as, you got Manich, Castillo, Durand, Muse, Reed, Combs, all these great drivers right there in the fight for the win, and somehow or another you're able to find yourself away through them and at the front of the field late in this race. Man, did it, ever cross your mind that you were going to be up here in victory lane, even with, 10, 15 laps to go, seeing those guys duking it out, seeing how tight the racing was here at the front of the field?
I mean, I was a little nervous when we were all close together because one little miscue, you're either second or you could be all the way back in 8th in a lead pack. But honestly, I think I can contend most weeks with these guys, but it's finally sweet to finally prove myself and get in the victory lane tonight.
Absolutely, a wonderful run, a wonderful race here for you as you park that Napa Auto Parts number 9 right up in victory lane here at Auto Club Speedway. Brandon, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here tonight?
Just you, friend on the broadcast, the admins, of course, for putting this on. It's a lot of fun. Corey and everybody from Midwest Motorsports for being good teammates and everything like that. But that's about it.
Beauty. Well, Brandon, congratulations on the win here this evening. Hopefully some momentum going in your direction and maybe more and more trips up here into the broadcast booth and more trips up into victory lane here for the 9 ride before the end of the season and maybe throughout next season as well.
Yep.
Beauty. Brandon, congratulations again on the win, and hopefully we see you back up here in the broadcast booth very soon.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Brandon Puffenbarger, as Puffenbarger picks up the win and pulls that number 9 ride into victory lane. As in position number 2, the 00 ride. We heard from him there in stage number 1. It's the 00 Colton manages. We'll get ready to pull Colton up into the broadcast booth here once again on the evening. Hey, Colton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yeah, man, I got you.
Cool, man, and great run, a great drive here all evening long. We talked to you there at the end of stage number 1, and you felt pretty good there in that car, and you looked pretty good late in this race. A lot of different pitch strategies, a lot of different maneuvers getting pulled out there on the racetrack, but late in this one, we see just an absolute dogfight at the front of the field. You got to take every run you can, hoping to get some pushes, hoping to get some drafting help out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, you didn't get a whole lot of help there for a little bit, and that kind of just allowed Brandon Puffenbarger to get out in front, get the runs that he needed to keep you back there at bay, and not allow you to get the run you needed to maybe make the big move to get back to the front of the field here late in this race.
Man, I got a question for you before I talk about the race. How was that show? I mean, I just need to know, was it as fun watching it as it was behind the wheel?
Oh, brother, it was a ton of fun watching you guys just continuously run, 2, 3 wide out there, taking every single run and every single inch that you can from each other out there on the racetrack, man. Put on a wicked, wicked race for us up here in the booth.
Man, it was a lot of fun, but you definitely summed it up for me there. I think today I had the best car for sure. I couldn't get the runs. I couldn't get the well, I got the runs. I just couldn't get the help. Nobody wanted to really go with me, and I was screaming on Discord to CJ. I was like, "Man, I got no help. I got no help." Every time I'd get a run, and I wanted to make it a little bit difficult on Brandon there. I know we went back and forth a couple times, but like I said last week, man, my biggest thing with being here and what I'm doing, I'm trying to do everything clean. I'm not really sure what position he was in for playoffs or points or anything like that, but I without knowing, I treated him as another playoff driver, just another guy battling for the points. So I was trying to be respectful. Obviously, I wanted to win, but I could have thrown it in there and washed up on there and into 3 and 4 and been a little bit more aggressive or done something a little bit different in 1 and 2. But to me, it's just about racing these guys respectful and racing them clean and getting it the fairest way possible.
Absolutely. Always want to be clean. Always want to be respectful out there, especially when it comes to all those guys with so much on the line with the playoffs here underway. You don't want to be the guy that ruins somebody's chances of, moving forward and through the next round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, if you would have looked at it, Puffenbarger was one of those drivers, just like yourself, that were playing spoiler here on the evening, not a part of the playoffs, as you guys duked it out there late in this race and put on a show. Even though you're not part of the playoffs, you were here to pick up wins, and you guys put on the best show you could at the front of the field.
Oh man, well, hey, found it out. I guess we'll Watkins Glen's really not one of my best tracks, but I guess we'll save it for Pocono and where is it, Daytona to end out the season. I'll have to remember that. But no, I enjoyed racing with him. It was really clean. I know we bumped doors a couple times there, and I just needed that a little bit more just to get by him because it's such a momentum track. And if you don't have the help, going with you, these cars, I mean, you can slide draft a little bit with them, but you don't get the same effect that you would in like those Gen 6. So it's really hard to pull the guy back to you. But yeah, all in all, it was a fun race. It was a great race. Really enjoyed it. I kind of wish it would have gone green there on that run where we got that caution there late. It allowed me to come in, top off, put some tires on it, but still, I ended up having to give up all my track position because at that point I was leading and I was saving fuel, and I was 2 laps to the good already, and I was going to save for another like 4 or 5 laps when I let Adolfo get by me. That was my plan, but unfortunately, we got the caution and kind of messed that up a little bit. So here we are in second.
Absolutely. Ending up in P2. A great day, though, at the racetrack. Another solid run and solid performance here for that 00 ride. Colton, who would you like to thank for another great performance here tonight?
First and foremost, it's a special paint scheme that I'm running today. So that's for my grandmother and pop who just help support this racing endeavor so much and really enjoy seeing the posts that I make and the broadcasts and things like that. So to bring this paint scheme out there today and get the second was awesome for them. And then obviously my big supporters, Williamsburg Contracting, Aaron there. Um, I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done for me. Shenko Custom Diecast and Shenko Custom Designs and all those supporters and friends and family who pushed me to do what I do on that end. And yeah, and then you and everybody here at ORL making this league awesome and making it enjoyable and allowing me to be here each and every Sunday.
Absolutely, brother. It's always a pleasure to have you out there on the racetrack, as you always put on such a great show for us. And another one here this evening, Colton. Congrats on the second place run, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack, hopefully next Sunday, and hopefully we'll see you right back in here battling for another race win.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And big shout out to All Seeing Motorsports. If you guys don't follow them yet, go follow them on Facebook and check them out.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place finisher, Colton Manich. As Manich coming home in position number 2. I don't see our third place finisher. Where did Castillo disappear? He was in the post-race interviews area, but he has disappeared now. I'm not sure where he has taken off to, but we'll wait a second here for him. Huge shout out to every single person tuning in here tonight. All the people tuning in, all the, likes, comments, follows, new subscribers, or shares, or anything else. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and showing the love here in this one, as everyone coming in showing the big love as our second playoff race of the season, a very successful one. A lot of great racing, a lot of door-to-door action, a little bit of rubbing and scrubbing, a little bit of back-and-forth battling out there on the track. And then late in it, we see, 3, 4 wide battling at the front of the field. Everyone trying to hunt down that race winner, Brandon Puffenbarger. But Adolfo Castillo there in position number 3, having himself a solid day. We talked about him early on as he had to come down pit side for a pass-through penalty. Unfortunately, that put him right on the end of the tail of the lead lap. He had to deal with Colton Manich for, trying to stay on the lead lap there in stage number 1. And luckily enough, he was able to keep himself from going a lap down and getting kind of stuck back there. So he was able to use that to his advantage here in this race, and some more strategy to end up in position number 3. I'm not sure where Adolfo disappeared to. I don't see him in the Discord anymore, though, so unfortunately we won't get that 31 ride up here into the booth. But a huge shout out for him, and a huge shout out for all these drivers put on such a great run and great show for us all evening long. Unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all here in just a little bit for our second broadcast of the evening. Gonna come up here just before 6:30 Eastern, so make sure you tune in, make sure you hit that bell notifications, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming.